Welcome to GearCheckGames. This is part 30 of our commentary for The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD. Last time we got started on the Wind Temple. Makar was captured, but we managed to rescue him with the help of our newly procured hookshot. And we opened this mysterious giant fan at the bottom of this shaft here. And I cut out a little bit of footage there because I just kind of flew around aimlessly with Makar. Because this is kind of where the gloves come off in this dungeon, so to speak. This is the part where you're kind of just left in this big open room with all of these possible ways to go, and you're kind of just left to like figure out which one is the right way. And it took me a second.
This gives me Snowhead Temple vibes.
Yeah, there's a lot of Zelda dungeons that are just like a big cylinder with a bunch of spokes coming off of it at different tiers like this.
Yeah, it's like, figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the dungeon like actually requiring you to like remember like where you've been and what you've seen and what you have in your inventory and how you can use that to progress. And and it's, again, this isn't like a super crazy example of that. It's just like the one example of it in Wind Waker.
Yeah. I suppose Great Bay is a bit like that too.
Oh yeah.
If you pick the wrong door right off the bat, you'll be like, well, I ain't got no keys.
Yeah.
Oh, bye, Link.
There goes Link.
Oops. I guess what the Wind Temple is kind of missing compared to something like the Water Temple or the Majora dungeons is like a central mechanic that kind of like alters the entire space. Like, Water Temple had like raising and lowering the water level, which allowed you access to different areas, or in the Great Bay you change like the water currents to get around, or Snowhead you manipulated that big pillar to access different rooms, or in Stone Tower you get to flip the entire dungeon upside down, which kind of recontextualized everything, excuse me. And like Wind Temple almost has that setup, but like I said, it's missing like that central mechanic that really incentivizes you to go back and like re-explore the old rooms.
Yeah.
Oh no. It
was like a step in the right direction, but not like a full step.
Yeah. Man, Go ahead.
Okay, sure. I was gonna say, I gave it some more thought in between, like, recording the previous episode, and thinking about it more, it's entirely possible that maybe I just don't have as good of a as positive of a memory of this dungeon or whatever. Yeah, sure, whatever it is.
Whatever.
Maybe the main reason I'm not as positive about this dungeon is just that, like, it is more kind of confusing and puzzly than what I was used to when I was younger. Like in this game in particular, a lot of the dungeons are pretty linear, and then this one comes along and it's a lot like harder to figure out, which maybe when I was younger I took as like, oh, this is just confusing and boring. And unlike Ocarina, I haven't like really played it again now that I'm older and more capable and have kind of like a better critical eye for things. So I haven't really gotten that redemption that I did with, say, like the Water Temple.
Yeah. Well, like, as a kid, you view stuff like that differently, because, like, if you get stuck in a game as a kid, like, I'm stuck here because the wind is blowing and I can't get over that gap. But you get stuck in a game as a kid, it's like, oh, crap, I'm stuck. I don't get to see the next part of the game. And, like, when you're a kid, that's what it's all about. But, like, you come back to it as an adult and you kind of, hopefully you kind of realize, like, it's not really about, like, the reward, but more about like is the process of getting the reward satisfying. Yeah. And I feel like that's that's why I think Wind Waker is a great Zelda game for like young kids and like people who are like less experienced with video games, because for the most part it is like you just kind of go through it. Like, it doesn't really resist you all that much. But in case, and then you get to cases like this where it's like, oh, now I have to actually think. Like, what's that all about?
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to sound like demeaning or anything. Like,
yeah.
just kind of came out that way.
It's just like the difference in whatever.
Well, yeah, just the difference in like where we're all at with video games.
Yeah, like I feel like when I was a kid, I was much more like reward oriented or whatever. Like if I was a little kid and I was playing Breath of the Wild, for example, I feel like I would have been hoping that I got the dungeons that were just like rewards and you don't have to do anything extra for them. And like then just I would have like if I did a bunch of stuff and then got a shrine that was like I was expecting to be a reward shrine and then it was like a regular shrine, I would have been like, oh man, they want me to do more. But now at this point in my life, I get to a reward shrine and like, oh man, I was kind of hoping to like do another fun shrine.
Yeah. I feel like you've been cheated almost.
Yeah, I'm much more about the challenge rather than the reward now.
Or just the experience.
Yeah,
of,
the experience.
Like earning the reward.
Yeah.
Which again, like as an adult, you come back to something like this, and it's like, oh wow, I actually kind of have to think here. Like that's cool. It's engaging me on a level that the rest of the game doesn't really.
Yeah.
Well, this is technically the final dungeon, isn't it?
Yes, this is the final proper dungeon. Yes, apart from like the end game area, this is the final like proper dungeon that has like a boss key and a dungeon item and everything.
Yeah.
Because, like I said earlier, in an earlier part, they were really hedging their bets that this ocean would like captivate people. Because we got a rather lengthy sequence of sailing awaiting us after this tunnel. So look forward to that. But in the meantime, enjoy the Wind Temple while it lasts. And here's another example. Maybe it was just because I was here and playing on hero mode, but this room really gave me trouble this time.
Oh yeah, you got yourself backed into a corner right off the bat.
Yeah.
But you somehow found your way. Oh god.
Oof.
And I've got all three of them aggroed at once.
Yep. I thought the black one was supposed to...
Oh my god, they do so much damage.
Yes.
That was more than half your health.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, see, at this point, I'm just like, crap, what do I have? What can I use against these? But yeah, like, I think I mentioned earlier...
I'm just a kid. Leave me alone.
Oh man, he wouldn't let you set up.
Thankfully, I got kind of lucky there, and one of them...
You went and picked a fight with him.
Well, I wanted to get him out of the way while he was, like, defenseless.
Yeah, it's weird that he was
because I'm a
just
heartless
standing.
monster. Thankfully, the friendly fire caused them to kill each other, so
yeah,
I got a little bit of mercy there. But like I was saying in an earlier part, like these enemies, the enemies in Wind Waker aren't really like all that threatening individually. But like with the right like enemy placement and like size of the room.
Yeah.
Like, especially in this case, the size of the room makes this so much harder, because you have so much less room to, like, maneuver around.
Yeah.
But they can make, like, engaging and difficult enemy encounters.
Ooh,
yeah,
perfect.
that's why a lot of times the challenges in the Cave of Ordeals or, what was it called in this game again?
The Savage Labyrinth.
They're oftentimes... You know, it's not about fighting individual enemies, but like the different challenges are fighting different combinations of enemies.
Yeah.
Or
I
like
guess they'll put like bombs that you can accidentally attack in the arena.
Yeah, I guess like the earlier floors are just a bunch of a single type of enemy because that's easier, and then as you progress, they throw in like more like they mash together more different types of enemies.
Yeah, I think the final floor of the Savage Labyrinth, which you actually don't have to complete the game, has like 4 dark nuts.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you thought that was the challenge, just wait.
Yeah, or like enemies that are just kind of throwaway actually become kind of like... If you pair them with stronger enemies, they can become kind of like very they can make things a lot more difficult because they're serving as distractions.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Like making it harder for you to like maneuver yourself around the area.
Oh my god,
Pass
Makar.
Joe, why did you put Makar down? You should have just gone for it.
Oh, what is he doing?
Wait, does Makar have health?
No, he just gets stunned. Like, if the only time him getting hit ever has a consequence is if you're controlling him, you lose control.
Bye, Makar.
Peace.
So now you have the boss key, so you should be able to like go straight for the
now that
final.
now that we have the big key and the last small key we need, we can just head straight for the boss, which is underneath this giant death fan. So
Yay. Which only does like a quarter of a heart of damage if it lops you in. Okay. Oh, all right. He slid
Come
her
on,
off.
Makar.
you can do it, Makar. I believe in you.
Oh, hi, more enemies.
So now we got to fight some Stalfos and this yellow Wizrobe, and as you can see, I'm getting stressed out again because I got to pause.
Gotta get out them tools.
And then I whiffed it.
All three.
It's gonna be a good
thankfully,
fight.
this is not nearly as bad as the Dark Nuts because these guys are a lot slower, and you have a lot more room to maneuver in this room. Really, the only annoyance is the Wizrobe, but like a couple arrows and he's history. So
Yeah, as long as you don't kill the Stalfos, will he not summon any more creatures?
Well, no, I think after a while he'll try to summon more. Like once you like kill all of the last wave of enemies that he summoned. But
when you hear the sound of him arriving and you're frantically looking for him before he summons more enemies.
The coward's hiding behind one of those Stalfos. Well, he was. I don't know what he was thinking there.
Intimidation
Unless the teleportation is just like random. Yeah, shooting arrows at these guys doesn't really do much.
He just like closes his eyes to make himself invisible and then just like runs around to a random spot.
Link's vision is based on movement, right?
If he's invisible, then light can't pass through his eyes, so he's also blind.
Well, yeah, you have to destroy the body and the head, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you have to destroy the body to make the head vulnerable, and then destroy the head.
Okay.
Right. And as I demonstrated, the best way to do that is with a bomb.
I love the
because
wiggly
it
bones.
usually doesn't seem like you can get enough sword hits before they wind up their swing on you. So you may notice that did not open the bars on the door. This is a different kind of room. You don't just have to beat the enemies here. You actually have to find a switch.
Oh yeah.
Up in the upper areas of the room.
There is also a hidden chest in this room for defeating all the enemies,
there is.
which you haven't got yet either.
Uh-huh. But don't worry.
Oh god.
I have to do all of the pointless stuff in this game.
Wait, can you
So
lock...
we'll be seeing that.
I was about to say, can you lock yourself out of being able to hookshot up, but no.
No, I think there are enough, like, regular targets to get your way back up. Maybe in combination with the Deku Leaf.
I wonder if that was something they almost forgot in development. They're like, hey, we should, like, make it to where you can still, like, hookshot.
Yeah. Man, that would stress me out so much if I was a... Here I go talking about stuff that I have no experience with, but if I was a game developer, I think I'd be so stressed out with, like... Oh god, I have to make everything so that players can't, like, lock themselves out of completing the game. I suppose that's, like, the first thing you gotta learn when you're, like, designing levels for a game like this.
Do the things that you pull off the wall have, like, a set animation for falling? Because...
I think they do. Like, they have one if you're in front of it and one if you're to the side, and you just have to be standing out of the way of whatever animation you trigger by pulling it down.
I was gonna say, like, I was gonna point out that, you know, you stand to the side of it because it just falls forward no matter what angle you're at. But then I noticed that it, like, turned towards you when it was falling down, and it looked like it was going towards you.
Yeah, they do that. If you get to, like, where I'm standing, like that first one, I was too close. I was too far, like, forward. But if you stand a little further back, like I've been doing...
Did you just, like, spot dodge with the iron boots?
I guess so.
Huh.
I didn't even know that was a thing, but, you know, you learn something new every day. Yeah, I wasn't gonna make you watch that.
Another treasure chart.
It's like in a Metal Slug when you eject yourself from the Metal Slug, you get invincibility. So that's actually a strategy to dodge some seemingly impossible to dodge boss attacks.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Metal Slug. Are Metal Slugs like mechs?
They're like, they're specifically like the original Metal Slugs are these tanks that have like modified treads that let them like grip ledges and climb up them easier. So like they're basically tanks made for platforming. And it's funny because the manual I don't know if it's from like the manual for the Neo Geo home version or the like side of the arcade machine or something, but it does have like a little product description for like the Metal Slugs.
Oh,
and it says it specifically points out that the treads are made to let you like climb up grip and climb up ledges even if it looks like you're gonna fall off, which is how I discovered that you could do that in the game. And it has in Metal Slug fashion, it has like a specific animation for that. And then in later games, there are more different types of Metal Slugs in like different non-tank forms, including a literal just like camel with turret guns on it, and an elephant with guns on it that like shoots lasers from its trunk.
Dan, I gotta ask though, who would win, Metal Slug or Metal Gear?
I wonder if it's one of those, like, depends on which version you're talking about.
I feel like probably Metal Slug, because the Metal Slug is a lot more mobile and smaller and harder to hit. And, like, I mean, you often fight, like, these giant, like, crazy mechs in Metal Slug.
Mobile.
This is another puzzle I thought was kind of clever. Like, again, it's probably nothing special, but, like, what you're supposed to do here is, like, you have 3 blocks, but you need one of them to push into that trench over there to, like, make a path for the other one. Or to make a bridge for the other one so that you can block that last blade trap over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what happened there with the hitbox.
That's weird.
So what you have to do is you have to use one of these blocks to block 2 of them simultaneously. Which, I don't know, I just, for some reason, I always thought that was kind of clever.
It's an actual proper puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just
and
like...
don't worry, through the power of teleportation, we get to skip the slow walking.
Yeah.
Well, some of it.
Good teleport, Link.
Thank you.
I like how, like, not only is block pushing slow, but you also gotta do it with the iron boots on.
Well, the iron boots actually don't slow you down while you're pushing blocks. I think it's actually slower to, like, just carry, or to just, like, walk with the iron boots than it is to push a block around.
Oh.
Case in point. You got out of it before. You're not getting out of this one.
How does he not fly out of your hands?
Link can hold on real tight, okay?
Oh, I guess he does have the mitts. Or the,
yeah, he's got the power bracelets.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up the power bracelets and say that I'm completely on board for a feature that plenty of people before me have recommended for the Zelda series, which is letting the power bracelets allow you to push blocks faster.
Oh, yes.
Actually, I think one of the one of the quality of life things in the Ocarina of Time randomizer, which I haven't talked about in a long time, is just faster block pushing, which is nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, I love
that
this
would
song.
have been a nice thing to add in Ocarina 3D,
Any
honestly.
of the remakes at all?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're 0 for 4.
Yeah. But don't worry, we got slower swimming in Majora, so that counts for something, I guess.
Yeah, they fixed it.
Majora's
You know what? You go ahead.
Majora's Mask 3D is what Prometheus is to the Alien franchise.
Oh god. Yikes.
We didn't need this.
What are you doing? Don't waste it. Oh well.
Oh, you can still get one.
Wow.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say.
The day is saved.
You caught yourself before you collect. You tried to catch yourself before collecting them, and just made the situation a lot worse.
It's okay. Moving on. Got all my items that I'm not gonna use. Really, I just wanted to get the bottles off of my face buttons. Now this boss is... I want to say it's my favorite boss, but that might just be due to the music.
Yeah, it definitely has most people's favorite boss theme in this game and possibly any Zelda game.
I'm happy to jump on that bandwagon. I love this boss music.
I'm actually not like 100% sure what my favorite Zelda boss music is.
Worthy of note, and I don't think we've brought this up yet, Wind Waker, as far as I know, is the only Zelda game where each boss has its own completely unique music.
Oh yeah.
At least as far as the 3D games go. I think maybe Link's Awakening had unique music for each boss. But like in this one, they're all like wildly different.
Does each stage of the Ganon battle have different music?
Yep.
So,
Oh yeah, it does actually.
Yeah, each transformation of Puppet Ganon has its own completely unique boss theme.
Yeah.
is this,
I will say I did like I did really like Xant's battle theme in Twilight Princess with how
yeah, that was good.
It transitioned between all the different boss themes in the game and like kind of mixed it into the main like Xant theme. I thought that was really interesting.
God, he almost swallowed you.
Yeah, so I think what I like about this boss, like from a mechanical perspective, like again, it's not super hard. Like we're gonna beat this guy in like 2 minutes. But what I like about him is that he spawns these little worms that kind of keep you busy while he's like trying to attack you, or like while you're waiting for him to like resurface.
Yeah.
Quote unquote attack you.
So you're well, okay, but he's got another attack he's gonna show off here, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, this boss is kind of an iteration on Twin Mold from Majora's Mask. But I have to say, I really like this design for whatever reason. Like, it's like a big worm with like a manta ray head and like a sideways opening mouth.
Yeah, it's creepy.
I was gonna say we got that classic Wind Waker changing the lighting of the arena to increase drama during a big boss attack.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually did Ocarina do that with what was the dragon boss again?
Volvagia.
A little
Possibly?
bit.
Volvagia. Like when it comes out of and flies around.
Oh yeah, it gets a little more like red tinted, I think.
Yeah.
I could be misremembering that, but
Okay, I think what I was thinking of is when it flies up into the sky and drops rocks on you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it changes the lighting to be more red for that.
also the undulating sand floor
yeah.
in this arena is kind of impressive. Like, that's the sort of thing where I feel like it's probably harder to make than it looks.
Yeah, well, with my somewhat limited experience in 3D, well, our somewhat limited experience in 3D, if it's not like moving you up and down, then it's not actually that hard to do, because you're just like, well, then again, I don't know how different the technology was back when this game was made.
Well, yeah, we don't know what kind of tools they were using to build this stuff.
But with current technology, it's mainly just like a texture map. Well, some kind of like texture map kind of dealio. I don't remember exactly what it's called. Where like you change how you basically like use a texture and move it around to change how the plane appears to move, but it doesn't actually like move the actual geometry or the clipping things. Anyway,
Yeah.
on to this
Now
cutscene.
this is the last time. This is the last time we'll get to hear it. But this song Makar is playing right now is the second half of the Wind Waker title theme.
Oh yeah.
Kind of the answer to Medley's song.
I thought Link was just gonna start dancing there,
He just starts like
wagging his finger around.
like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Uh-oh, we're getting a buff sword.
Mm-hmm.
It's already got wings. Can you add to a sword that already has wings?
More wings. It's like that. Do you remember the fan-made George Lucas special edition of the Force Awakens teaser, where Kylo Ren ignites his lightsaber and the crossguard things like grow their own little crossguards?
Oh yeah.
And like when they show the Millennium Falcon flying past the TIE fighters, there's like 1 billion TIE fighters. Good times.
Oh,
The winds of fortune be at your back.
I wonder if they use that phrase because the Tauren in Warcraft say "May the wind be at your back" every time you leave.
Yeah, they probably stole it.
Obviously.
That's
Those hacks at Nintendo. Anywho, thank you for joining us for the culmination of the Wind Temple. Next time, we sail. See you next time.